Today we are finally going to do a versus battle on the channel again, showcasing the schizophrenic dribbling monster Meguru Bachira, the roadrunner of BLUELOCK Hyoma Chigiri, and the substitute Shinigami of BLUELOCK Rensuke Kunigami. 3 of the Egoist 4 facing off, who will win. The formula is in each statistic output each of them in first place to get 3 points, second place to get 2 points, and last place gets 1 point. This idea is a homage to Arrow's triple threat matchups in his systems when he does versus battles, so shout out to him, and I really liked it, so I just took it. Now let's begin, shall we? Positioning. Taking first place in this is Rensuke Kunigami. It shocked me at first when scripting this, but especially since his wildcard training, he has really been good in terms of positioning amongst the geniuses. He got to the perfect spot to score against Manshine. His man marking positioning allowed him to stop Shido on several occasions, and lastly, he was able to be in the perfect place to stop Loki from scoring against Japan in chapter 340. Second place is Hyoma Chigiri. His speed just helps him get in the right spots at the right time, like stealing the ball away from Kaiser or stopping Barrel's shot. He is a cheat code in this criteria, but only got surpassed by Kunigami's better feats. Bachira takes third place because he doesn't have the specs like the others to get into those important positions fast enough anyways. Lastly, his best attributes is dribbling and passing, which doesn't require great positioning to achieve, so it's easy to see why we don't get to see much of him using great positioning. But if I had to give off his best feats, it would be in the NEL when he was tracking down Noah and Lavino, watching that battle and stopping Nagi's pass, as well as receiving the goal opportunity from winning the second selection. He has good moments, but it's not as good as the other two. Strength. This easily goes to Kunigami. Bro was literally lifting 500 tons or whatever that was, and he is basically the Noah clone, with both legs being able to shoot menacing shots, and was contending with the beast Barrel in physical duos. So yeah, this easily goes to him. Second place in this category is actually Meguru Bachira. Bro literally kicked the dog crack up out of Chigiri and was trying to throw hands with Kira and Shido, and was also in the gym in the NEL chapter 160. It's really tough between Bachira and Chigiri because it looks like both of them have 6-packs. But because of all the fades Bachira has shown and feats, I'll give him the slight edge just because of how much we've seen compared to Chigiri, which leads to Chigiri being last place in this category and won't be in the next category. Pure speed. Easily first place goes to Chigiri. He is the fastest runner in Japan with just pure speed, even contending with Loki for a little while baking Bastard Munchen's whole defense in the NEL and just rushing consistently through the right flank to help his teammates. Second place is very difficult as they only run in short bursts and not in races like Chigiri, and in the second selection the field is way smaller than an 11v11 field, so it's even harder to contend, and their NEL speed stats in the beginning of the NEL was actually the same too, being 84. The best way to measure it is to see who would actually beat Chigiri in a race, or not even beat Chigiri, let's be honest, contend with Chigiri, and I would have to give it to Kunigami. The muscle mass on his legs were advanced to the point he was able to keep up with Bachira's solely because of that. I believe Kunigami would do better in a race against Chigiri than Bachira just because of his insane specs compared to Bachira, and was able to keep up with a beast like Kaiser in the training program too. It's just a shame that Bachira never really gets to show off his off the ball speed feats in these categories. So now Kunigami has 8 points, Chigiri has 6 points, and Bachira has 4 points. Speed with the ball. Now this isn't just speed, but how fast you can be while progressing with the ball. Now for first place in this category is Chigiri again. If he wasn't born fast, he wouldn't be the top of this list, but he is here. His Manshine game showed he can really move fast with the ball now and keep it up at top speed, something he really struggled with in the first and second selections, but now he removed that one flaw thanks to Chris Prince's training. However, on the right side, he has only been dribbling past one player before crossing, and until we see him on the left in this arc, I have to utilize his Manshine feats for now. For second place, it has to be Meguru Bachira, the dribbling king, in the BLUELOCK facility. He easily cooked Nigeria so he could score his opening goal, and in quick fashion too. I'm not going to count chapter 296 as they didn't really show him dribble through the whole team, they just showed him through Agi, Rail, and Nagi. And they did this because it was a non-Isagi match, so everything is triple sped up because we don't want to give a lot of treatment to a non-Isagi match. And Bachira is pretty close to Chigiri in this department because Bachira is a showboater and loves messing with his opponents, awareness, like his vicious nutmegs towards defenders, it calls for a more patient and slower approach ever since he learned Ginga. So it's not that Chigiri clears Bachira because he's just a faster dribbler per se, but because he's shown more feats of having top speed dribbling feats. Meanwhile, Bachira, he does have some really high speed dribbling feats, but most of the time in character he's gonna take his time dribbling because of Ginga and just because he likes to cook his opponents properly. And now we have to get into the last part where it's Kunigami in last place. He doesn't have any real dribbling feats except for his shot feint, but that was about it. Now let's get into game IQ. This is really tough because none of these guys are talented learners, but first place is however surprisingly going to Meguru Bachira. He has gotten the most shine in this attribute, as especially in recent arcs, like him not interfering with Noah and Levino's clash, figuring out how to counter Kunigami's press considering he had no prep time to handle him since Kunigami came out of the wild card and no one knew but Bastard Munchin, and Bachira had no way to figure out what Kunigami was capable of now, and he still cooked him. And the way he just uses his pawns on the field to always get the best passes to them by understanding their specs like Ryu, Isagi, and hell, even Otoya. He understood their weapons and made the perfect pass to help them score awesome goals. Second place has to be Kunigami. In his debut match in the NEL, he didn't want to pass to nobody, so he used the chest trap to keep possession and to get a shot on target. In the Manshine game, he understood that he could just use Isagi and Kaiser's slip-ups to score his own hyena goals by letting them do it, something like Bao does by devouring Rin or Isagi. He also in the second selection was the one helping draw some plays in the 3v3 matchup, and the positioning for his man marking against Bao and shot stops is something not anyone could do, as Raichi thrives in man marking and had to be told how to do it properly against Nuffy. Meanwhile, Kunigami just understands how to do it properly against people like Shiro and Baro. Chigiri is smart, don't get me wrong, but he just like low-key kind of bails himself out nearly all the time with just his speed. He knows how much he needs to run to get into his golden formula point, and he understands spatial awareness pretty well and how to break down the team's flaws, especially in episode Nagi, and shoot it perfectly in the net. He also knows how to control the ball very well and to perfect crosses. The thing is just that like speedsters like Zantetsu and Loki, when you get overconfident, especially when you want all your goals to be scored off the same way, you kind of have like less reliance to actually use your brain and just go with your god-given gifts. So yeah, now Kunigami is first place again, and Chigiri is back with second place, and Bachira is still in last place. Vision. First place again is actually Bachira for a lot of the same reasons I gave him for the game IQ, and that's because his very underrated spatial awareness vision to make the plays he does, like understanding where Isagi will be for his direct shots, making sure he put the ball and saw where Ryu's maximum jumping point could be in the second selection, and lastly understanding the perfect point for Isagi and Rin to clash in the Nigeria game. He's a playmaker, so having a good vision is always required for that role. Second place is Chigiri. He has understood the concept of spatial awareness from the first selection, and in order to pull off the 44-degree panther snipe, you must have a good vision of the pitch, as just using speed blindly will get you intercepted, like Loki getting done dirty by Karasu and Zantetsu being dumb as well. He understands where the open spots are and uses his speed in response to that, like in the Nigeria game, stopping Bao's shot and stopping a pass to Kaiser. Last place is Kunigami. His vision is narrowed because of his new egotistical persona. Even Raichi saw the field better than Kunigami in that one Uber's play. He has done some good by knowing how to stop Loki from scoring and knowing where the ball should be. The problem is he is so short-sighted to just man marking and poaching. It's been hard for me to give him much credit in this category. And at one time he did have the ball because it was like the Uber's game and he actually had to dribble by himself. He wasn't able to see the fact that Nico was going to catch on to him. Dribbling. So Bachira, no contest, is taking this easily, dribbling through bats, cooking the whole Nigeria team to score, and destroying Manshine City and Bastard Munchin to score those 3 goals. He has been on a tear in these last 2 arcs and on a consistent level. I think he's one of the most consistent characters in the manga. He has 2 different tempos of dribbling, the monster fast crazy one and the controlled patient Jinga style. Chigiri is right there, but he has only 1 tempo of dribbling, and while he has significantly improved his dribbling from the first selection to the second selection all the way to the NEL, showing that he almost is on Yukimi and Bachira's levels, he still gets properly stopped or matched if he has to deal with people like them. Kunigami has like fake shots to enhance his dribbling. Besides that, he really doesn't have anything. He just uses like pure aggressive dribbling style like Shido does. So now Bachira is in the lead, Chigiri is on his tail, and Kunigami continues to slip down. Dang, this is a good battle here. Offense. This was a whole lot of trouble to rank, but I got it done anyways. First place for the third time in a row is Meguru Bachira. Like I said, he's been the most consistent offensive juggernaut in Blue Lock, having like 3 assists in one game. He had 5 goals in the NEL with 1 assist. Chigiri only had 3 confirmed, and Kunigami had 2 goals and 1 assist. He also has 1 goal and 3 assists in the U20 World Cup arc. Bachira has been on a beastly level. So yeah, he easily takes this. Always scoring those flashy dribbling style goals to box himself some W's, and then those buzz bomb assists always be cooking. In second place is Hyoma Chigiri. He isn't even in his proper side of the field, and he's still being an offensive threat by dribbling down the flank, making defenders have to rush to her, and then delivering deadly crosses. While it doesn't always lead to like goals, it's been very helpful. Like, he has been doing good. And lastly, Kunigami. Bro has been a defender in the last 2 games, and while we know how good he is on offense, he is a target man or a poacher, so he can't really do much if you keep the ball away from him. And yeah, so Bachira increases his lead, Chigiri is still on his tail, and Kunigami is sleeping even further down, but we can fix that. Defense. So this should easily be Kunigami. He literally has Blue Lock's best defensive feat against France by stopping Loki from scoring, and I've said this so many times. And he abused the hell out of Shido. I feel bad, and Shido's like a freak, and I still felt bad because Kunigami literally raped the boy, which is hard to do considering how slippery Shido is anyways. Second place in this category is Chigiri. He can use his speed to stop shots like with Barrel or keep up with anyone like Loki. If he could do that, he could literally keep up with any attacker at this point. Third place is Bachira. He has always been shown to like have his weak point be defense, not having the muscle mass or the speed to man mark someone. His last great feat was actually just stopping Nagi's pass, but anyone could have predicted that. Literally, Otoya saw through the play. Everyone was predicting Nagi passing a rail. So this isn't really much of a Bachira feat, just Bachira actually understanding the play and Nagi and rail. Off the ball movements. Chigiri may not be the smartest with his off the ball movements, but because of his speed allowing him to run to the best positions to make up for it, I have him in first place of this category. Kunigami is second. Being a poacher and a man marker means you always have to be in the right spot at the right time, tracking down your opponents or the ball to score. So you're always having to be moving in important positions and bringing the most dangerous outcomes for your opponents. Bachira comes in last place because his best moments are really dependent on with the ball. Without it, he's kind of useless without the ball, especially for defense. Except for moments in the exhibition game where in chapter 141 he was in the perfect position to steal the ball from Isagi and Barrow so he could score, and stopping Nagi's pass to rail. So now Chigiri has regained the lead, and Bachira is in second place, and Kunigami is hot on his tail. Passing. This easily goes to Bachira, the assist king of Blue Lock, goated for short range, mid range, and long range passes, getting the most assists in the Blue Lock franchise. The reason I put him here is because sometimes when Bachira feels like it, he can actually have chemical reaction awakening passes like with Aryo and Isagi, helping them score and evolve. And in second place is Chigiri. I think the only time he's truly had like an assist for a chemical reaction was with Otoya. But his passes are good, don't get me wrong, but like they don't really help evolve a player, except for that one instance with Otoya where Otoya had to fully keep up with Chigiri's speed to catch that ball and actually slam it in with a header. But that was about it. And then Kunigami, the bro barely passes anymore. His last pass was a header pass, and while he does have that in his bag, there's nothing like realistically something that can keep up with Chigiri and Bachira when it comes to this. And finishing, Kunigami takes first place in this category because like he is an ambidextrous shooter, which means he can finish a goal with either foot, and we got to see him score with his right foot in the Manshine game. And yeah, he's nowhere Noah's copy. He was always going to take this. Second place is Chigiri. I gave it to him over Bachira because he's only realistically missed the shot over Onazi in the Nigeria game, and every other time he gets the ball to actually like shoot, he realistically scores, unless I'm missing something. I pray I'm not. And then last place is Bachira. While he does have more of a finishing bag than Chigiri by being able to score in the air as well, And actually, no, Chigiri can jump over Zantetsu to score. But still, the point is, like, Bachira has the worst shot conversion amongst the three, failing to score against the Nigeria team, failing to score against the original U20 Japan team, and that one time in the second selection when Isagi stopped him. Bachira sadly just has the worst shot conversion, and that leads to Chigiri having 25 points, keeping the lead, Bachira with 24 points in second place, and Kunigami with 23 points. And now, shooting. Unlike finishing, where I mainly use conversion rates, I am going to be using the various ways they can score instead of how long their shooting range is. And first place again is Kunigami, as he can shoot with 2 legs and could score in the air with either headers or tap-ins. So yeah, he has a various bag of goal scoring opportunities. While he hasn't been able to score much, he still has an insane bag, and we can't really take into account his first selection feats, as Kunigami hasn't shot that far since. Second place is Chigiri. He has the longest shooting range amongst the 3 characters, and being able to score outside of the box definitely gives him credit in the bank. That is literally the only reason I have him in second, because he can't shoot from any other angle except for like the left corner of the pitch, and that's literally it. Third place is Bachira. Being able to like shoot anywhere inside the box and score because of his insane dribbling style, and then even able to shoot when the ball's in the air and then just snipe the thing is really impressive. Like, Bachira has a pretty deep bag inside the box, but the only thing is that he doesn't have an outside the box conversion rate, and Chigiri has that, which enhances how much he can shoot, and he can shoot inside the box on the left side too. And then Kunigami just has an insane bag over Bachira. So yeah, Chigiri still retains the lead, with Kunigami rising to second place and Bachira heading into the last category. Who's gonna win this? Lastly, chemical reactions. Bachira easily gets this, linking with just about anyone: Rail, Isagi, Ryu, Rin, Otoya, just to name a few. So now with his elite playmaking, he will have more chemical reactions in the future. Second place is Chigiri. He, especially in this arc, has been feeding Isagi passes. The problem is he is very speed reliant, especially in the Manshine days, which he wants to score goals by himself. So sometimes he will use his speed instead of relying on his teammates. So he has less tendencies to form chemical reactions than with Bachira. And last place is Kunigami. He only passed two people in the whole NEL arc, and indirectly to Ryu in chapter 341. This new phase of Kunigami has really done him dirty and made him less pass reliant. I'm pretty sure with his ambidextrous legs he would have been a beast in passing, but we haven't really gotten to see him do anything with that realistically. So yeah, he gets last place in this category. And now to see who won. First place is Chigiri with 29 points. Bachira is in second place with 28 points, and last place is Kunigami with 27 points. So Chigiri won 3 categories: pure speed, speed with the ball, and off the ball movements. Him placing second in a lot of these categories really helped him come first. Bachira won like 5 categories, being game IQ, vision, dribbling, passing, and chemical reactions. Kunigami also finished in first with 5 categories, being positioning, strength, defense, finishing, and shooting. But both of these guys finished third in a lot of these categories. It goes to show that you can still be the best while not being first in every category. Personally, if I was to rank them, it's Bachira, Chigiri, and then Kunigami, as Bachira has just been a phenomenal beast in the whole NEL and in the U20 arc, just being so consistent. While he did have an off game against France, I see him coming back against Brazil and Spain, and even in the quarterfinals, and Germany too. So he has a lot of good games coming for him too. Chigiri, I could see why he won this. He is an offensive and defensive weapon, something Bachira can't do, defensive stuff. And Kunigami's just been done dirty, so it made sense why he's not gonna win, especially with some of these categories just going against his ego, especially like passing and like chemical reaction stuff he doesn't really like to do anymore. So it was really like a really done dirty video for Kunigami. But I really enjoyed this video, and the next video is about Yukimiya. So until the next video, stay blessed. Suki out.